This is Nick Hahn from Mini Matisse teaching you how to draw a hand. When drawing a hand, there's some different shapes that you can start out with. The palm of your hand has 3 ovals. They're in different directions, but that's how I look at it, 3 ovals. Our fingers have ovals in them too. I typically think of it as 3 ovals in each finger. The thumb only has 2. When I start to draw my hand, I start out with the palm, and remember we discussed that there's 3 ovals. So I start out with drawing the oval near my thumb, and then I'll draw the one on the other side, and I'm drawing these very lightly. I think that's important. And then there's an oval at the top that connects all of your fingers. Now when we're moving to the fingers themselves, I start out with kind of an oval. It kind of has a boxy shape to it. For each section of your finger, and that helps me figure out where a finger can bend. So I'm doing the 3 sections right now, and I think I'm going to go ahead and create the bottom oval of each of my fingers so that I can tell how far across the palm the fingers are going to go. So I'm adding all 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll go back and I'll add the ovals on the top. Now my fingers are a little bent, so my ovals are going to be maybe foreshortened, which just means that I make them a little bit closer together. And I'm also thinking about where they do bend. They can't bend in the middle of the oval. They have to bend when they join together, when an oval is on top of an oval. When I'm drawing the thumb, I notice that there's only 2 ovals in the thumb, and it connects a little bit lower on the palm oval as well. So I'm making this larger oval, or it almost turns into a rectangle here, and then one right on top. Notice it is bent there, so I have the 2 ovals or rectangles, whatever you want to call them, overlapping. Maybe I'll just add my wrist as well. Once I have, this is called what I call the skeleton. I'm including all the shapes of my hand. Now I'm going to add what I call the skin. The skin is taking a contour line and going around the skeleton, or the shapes that I've created earlier. At this point I'm going to look at all the details that I find on my hand. All the lines and crevices, the fingernails, that sort of thing. This is going to make my hand look more realistic. It's easy enough to do a hand that's just laying flat because it makes more sense, but if my hand is bent, how are we going to draw that? Well, here I'm going to do my hand in a different position, and I'm going to start out the same way, starting out with some different shapes, drawing them really light because this is just the bones, this is just the base of my drawing. So I want to be able to get rid of these images later. So I'm drawing some different ovals that I see. That's that oval that connects to the fingers. And now I pretty much have the hand part done, and I'm going to move into the fingers here. Doing it in the same way. Each section is going to be a different oval or a different rectangle. Now my fingers overlap each other, so you're going to see that I draw them actually underneath each other. So my shapes themselves actually overlap a little bit, and that's going to help me so that I make it accurate, but I don't need to include that when I start adding the skin later. Again, once I have my skeleton, my base, my initial shapes, I'm going to go around my hand with what I call the skin, or the contour line of my hand. Once you're done with your contour, or the skin, you're going to add the extra details, and then get rid of any lines that you don't want anymore. So the initial circles and shapes that we started out with, the bones. There's your hand, all done.